Yeah.
I will go and
So,
remove all of these. And feel free to heal yourselves as you see fit. And if you want to move around, feel free. But where we next all find ourselves is potentially expected. And let's go with this. As...
oh, here we go.
Hey guys, look at this map.
Okay.
Oh, the gang's all here!
Gang! Even random scientist number 2!
Yeah, speaking of,
Yo.
right, that reminds me. An important thing, we didn't see it on screen, of course. However, it is important to point out that the people in the underwater base would be able to, would be the ones to sort of be notified of this, right? Which is, while you guys were sort of setting this up, eventually, some soldiers and researchers from the underwater base got to here, right? Following the path that you guys from the underwater base made, you know, because it was kind of a clear path, effectively, right? And stated that there were some shadow monsters in the submarine bay, but they managed to hold them off and have gotten up here, hence the scientists.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
And so, with that, of any place to start out in, we start kind of near the center with Melagrano literally like a deflated balloon sort of collapsed on the chair here, right? Thanks, guys. Thank you for listening for Help Me Radio or whatever the fuck I said.
Couldn't have done it without you, bud.
Just gives him a pat on the shoulder.
We can't just leave you behind when you sound like you're having a mental breakdown.
I was.
He was.
I was.
Blackberry is massaging his shoulders and channeling a bit more Joeberry healing energy into him.
Thanks.
Yeah, but you did it, Earl. Yeah.
Woo!
And really, outside of even just Melagrano, Ram speaks up. Really, not only thank you, but amazing work from all of you. I mean, we're all still here, aren't we?
Every single one of us, aside from the turncoats and a couple people that Midgard said he figured the whereabouts of, but we can get to that later.
Right.
Mean stands at a healthy distance from Melagrano, such that he does not immediately know his epithet.
No. never mind. And as this is, going along here, everyone's sort of milling about, talking amongst themselves. But eventually, Delta clears her throat. Everyone, as Lieutenant Ram said, amazing work, fantastic job, any other way you want to put it. You all far exceeded my expectations, which were already pretty high, so... she takes a sword and sort of clanks it against the ground. Plus, it was really quick, too. All things considered, anyway. I know we're on a bit of a time crunch, but we should have the time to work this out. And on that, let's get right into this. I'm going to start with me and my group. If anyone wants to jump in and add additional information, she, looks to Graves, Venus, Kanaho, Villanelle, sort of especially, right?
No.
Feel free.
Yeah.
But, long and short of it, for us, we were in the northern section, through the technological branch. Multiple of us encountered the apexes, and then Malmagia specifically, who is seemingly the apex of memory. She crosses her arms, and after handling her, we split around various different directions. Kanaho's made friends with one of the creatures. Looks to Hobby, who sort of, hobbles in space there. We managed to meet back up with Colonel Canehurst, motions to her, and Colonel Foster, who's currently being tended to. Along the way, we fought Lieutenant Logan Garrick, who has been dealt with, and along with it, she
Nice.
would, go and motion to Graves, who I believe is the one holding on to it. Dropped one of
Yeah.
these. A flash drive?
With the number 4 on it, I assume other people here have found the other corresponding numbers.
Kanaho holds his up, raising his hand up high. Number 5.
Aquarius holds hers out as well.
I forget. Did we have Axel or Justice?
It was
holding
me,
out
I
his-
got it. Justice says, raising it up into the air.
The underwater base crew looks to Voya.
I believe. Oh, because she's conscious. Okay.
She's beaten up, but well, kids are pretty tenacious.
From a mysterious source, I have been given.
She spits it out into the air as it spins, all the tenebrous juice being shaken off as it lands in the center.
Yeah, Delta, of course, goes, reaches out, grabs it midair. And of course, along the way, Villanelle was instrumental, being able to help us get an initial lead on people's locations. Venus was able to handle fortifications and has not only secured the offices, but also Naumagia's castle itself, along with a troop of her soldiers. And of course, our entire group managed to rescue Lieutenant Midgard, motions to him, who will be instrumental in all of this. Yeah, I got it. Nods. And so, to end it off, just to make sure that everyone's in the clear, if I understand from Elagrano, he got the information around. But we heard from her, looks over to Fairy, turns back around, who's, currently still palling around with Artemis, the potential plans of what exactly is going on here. And I assume, from what I've heard, some of you can corroborate regarding all of the information with the, well, for one, of course, Dragonov being the head behind it, working with the cult simulacrum. All of this has been a part of a grand ritual of some sorts to not only merge the Shadow Realm with our world, but bring back their god, air quotes, W, I believe.
The bucket?
Isn't that a letter?
Wait, what?
Voya raises her hand.
Yes, hello, I am a part of Simulacrum. Do not point your guns at me!
Yeah, everybody, every single person in the room looks.
Dude, I was a part of Simulacrum 10 minutes ago.
Haha,
Okay,
yeah, join
okay.
the club,
Aquarius
Othello
looks-
says, jazz hands,
Aquarius looks just annoyed.
She pushes past all the fucking
Lovely, yeah.
people.
Simulacrum is a big cult about how cool W is, and I do not necessarily share their opinions considering that they did this whole cool thing and did not include me. They are a Shadow Realm base. Goodbye.
Now hold on, I knew about W and all that stuff at least a bit, but Blackberry looks at Apollo. What the fuck did you just say?
It is a bucket and stuck in Thai prison.
Well, real quick.
Oh my
right,
God.
I think that as Voya was walking by, Kanaho does the tall person thing and sets a hand on her head, so she stops moving. It's just wait, hold on.
Yes,
I
hello, big
wanted.
man.
I did want to hear what Apollo had to say, but
Yeah,
then
that
you guys can
continues.
continue.
I mean, I only met him the one time, but other people can corroborate. He was stuck in a bucket, right?
Yeah, he possessed my sister and then possessed a bucket.
My sister
Okay.
too.
Yes, Voya, that's how family works.
I believe, if I recall the story correctly, Mr. Spider says, sort of spinning around in his chair over here, Isopod, slaps the chair to a stop, right? It was something it was an episode where they went to your house for Christmas or something, and so, something or whatever, he manipulated your sister, and then, the janitor that was there, tricked him into possessing a bucket or something, and now he's in prison.
Venus looks at you like she doesn't fully know the exact context and then just sighs, probably.
Wait a minute, Mr. Spider.
Huh?
Was someone named Meridian there?
Scratches his head. I think so.
Oh god. Her wings fucking... She doesn't say anything more, because that would be live leaks, but her wings sort of ruffle a bit.
Wayne just looks to Blackberry. Wouldn't it be more poignant to ask the person that was actually there gestures to Venus?
Right, I got mixed up. I thought he was there too for a second.
No, I just watched it. I'm kind of involved with this place now, so I've watched a lot of the episodes.
Well, I haven't watched that far back.
I did! You hear
So this is
fairies
all-
shout in the distance.
So this is all so what you're telling me is this is all happening to get a bucket from out of time?
Yeah.
Prison!
Alright.
That's amazing.
So I've never, like, met the guy or interacted with him directly, but I've had to deal with paperwork involving W. It's messy business. It's a kind of a big deal if they're trying to break him out of prison. I might have to... I don't have enough handcuffs to arrest the entire cult.
Don't need to arrest them all. Can just
But
leave a
prior-
couple to burn.
That's strange though, because my prior knowledge is that it should be the time police. They, by name, you can guess, they use time and paradoxes and such in order to make it virtually impossible to get things out.
What if they unparadoxed him?
But that's the thing,
if-
Gervasio. With Akashic stuff, the impossible is sort of the whole point.
That's true. This place has already been incredibly dumb, but it still happened before.
Yeah, with so many of us here. That can't be good.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I already told all of you, Othello says. That was kind of part of the plan, right? He, walks into this sort of open area before realizing people are looking at him. He slinks back over here, right? He does that. Right. You're Othello, right? Delta says, looking at him. Yeah, I was with, Wonder Boy over here, points to Brave, who I imagine smiles. Wonder Boy over here, Wonder Boy over there, points to Axel.
Hi, waves.
Not so Wonder Boy over there, Wayne. Well, I guess
That's
it's Wonder.
Wonder Boy.
Yeah, Wonder Boy. Yeah, you got it.
Don't.
A completely average boy.
Well, I wouldn't say... Whatever, it doesn't matter. He, just shoos his hand away. I was with them. I believe that's how, part of the information got to Phone Boy or whatever. Yeah, I heard it from...
Is everyone here a boy?
Huh? What?
No.
Right.
So,
It was during that call that I, pretty sure that was around the time I got back, right? Yeah, he saw Dragonov too, so that's definitely true. Yeah. He was with, he was leading a whole meeting. The cultists, soldiers, one of the leaders, it seems, of Simulacrum. I don't really know, but crosses his arms. It's definitely him.
That is suddenly troublesome. Kanehurst speaks up.
Wait, so Apollo looks at Othello. You're like with the cult then?
Oh, well, he looks around. Was Wonder Boy.
He's our friend.
Wonder Boy kidnapped me after they beat me, and
Dude, you too? Except I wasn't really part of the cult.
He's been pleading with me for anything that I figured I'd give him some information.
And two questions then. Why do you want to resurrect a guy that was tricked into possessing a bucket?
Funny.
From what I heard, it was less that he was tricked and more like it was kind of he was in the middle of something and then tragedy struck when Bucket was kicked. I don't know all the details, but I'm pretty sure it was something more like that, less than he was tricked.
Alright, and is this a first-hand account, or are you hearing this like third or fourth hand? Because that's not really that reliable.
Well, I mean, I wasn't there. Again, Mr. Spider, raises his hand. I've watched the episode. I mean, I think that's probably the closest
Alexa-
other than Venus.
At this point, Alexa switches on a screen projector that's in this room, and on the wall, you all see a repeating GIF of like W starting to possess somebody, and Soleil can describe the specifics, but literally the bucket is kicked into the middle of those two things, into the middle of the intercepting the person he's trying to possess, and he just goes into that instead, and then Meridian's like, "You're under arrest."
Yeah, like there's no way. It shows Valora on one side, but possessed by W, extends her hand. The Pokemon trade thing starts where the little light is going from her towards a Cam clone who is definitely no one we know, right? Then as the Pokemon trade is like going through, communication is interrupted when a bucket collides, you know, like.
All right. I guess that
This
leads
GIF
me to
continues playing for the remainder of the conversation. Continue, Apollo.
I guess that leads me to my second question. Are you stupid?
Huh?
I would say so, yes, but that is a matter of personal commentation.
Hey, I thought we were cool now, huh?
That doesn't make you not an idiot.
I never agreed to any of that. Anyways, you're trying to use an Akashic point? The thing that DBA has?
Leeching off our Akashic point specifically.
Right.
Yeah.
The thing where its whole deal is that it's unpredictable and hard to control. You're controlling it, or trying to?
Certainly trying to.
Fairy gets up and sort of pokes her head around this soldier. Yeah, but like, you know, W is all about unpredictability, so it kind of like fits, right?
So, no?
What do you mean?
You're just having double
Blackberry's nodding.
unpredictability. Now you're not going to be able to tell what's going to happen at all.
I mean, it's not only my problem.
At this point, I feel Graves would kind of like snap in midair, just sort of like standing in the gap. I understand where this current branch of our conversation is going. And yes, we could argue the stupidity of the cult, the military, and their entire plan all we want. But what matters, I feel, is that we're doing it. Or they're doing it. And what we have to do is stop them. No matter how stupid it might sound, they're going through with it. And what we have right here is information we need to exchange. Delta has already described what we've gone through. I want to hear from the underwater base group and the other people that weren't with us in the mines to describe what they've seen, who they've encountered, what they've procured, and if they've ran into any other apexes.
I agree.
That's going to be way more important than arguing about how stupid the cult is, which is more of just sort of waves hand. It's a semantic thing. It doesn't matter to our material needs. We need to really just understand what we're working with here and what our next plan of action is. Alright?
I agree with
sort
this.
of like looks over to Apollo. Underwater base. Let's start. What have you
Hold on,
What have you found?
real quick, Melagrano says.
Hmm?
Before that, cause this is a whole thing. I think Wayne was like saying something about this, right? Where it was like, so this whole thing is like a ritual, right? Like they're making like a big triangle.
Yes.
And I remember we were saying that part of the plan is we're gonna like go to the triangle parts and like stop them, right?
Yeah.
Okay, right. No, you know what? Hold on. No, I'll ask my question. I think you're right. We let's go over the other stuff first. He waves his hand. Sure. So yeah. Underwater base, guys. I guess.
We did indeed encounter an apex. It was a certain Baron the Shadow Williams.
Ever played Betrayal at House on the Hill?
You were
He
that
is-
blue guy.
Blackberry
Okay.
swords.
He is
Thank you.
incredibly fast.
I'm sorry, what? Mr. Spider says, like, leaning forward.
You do not know how fast that motherfucker is. We couldn't catch him.
He's
I
Sorry, you go.
I cannot. I don't think it's possible to overstate how fast he is. However fast we
Yes.
describe him as, he's faster.
He's already
Yes.
outspat all of our things describing him.
we defeated him, but he's currently outrunning his own final defeat, so his status is currently unknown.
Kind of how snaps.
Gray
He doesn't
sort of-
say anything more.
Yeah. Gray just sort of looks at Gervasio. Was he red?
Why is that important?
Yes.
We might have seen him.
So
Oh my
fucking
god.
vindicated.
Oh, that's Mr. Red Guy. I get it.
I am a
Axel.
fucking genius, and nobody credits me for it.
Oh,
ever.
the guy we saw in the mines. Bree like goes over to Axel, like
Yeah,
mouthing.
Axel's like, oh. Yeah.
Yeah, and like this, right? Like he and Blue Grandpa like did like a punch. Yeah, I remember.
That must be the
Purple,
guy
are we
who
supposed
stopped
to
and
know
took my
this?
epithet.
More to the important point of what we saw down there, though, past him, there was another area with a, basically, a big shadow door guarded by a lot of different Shadow Realm creatures. I think an area partially merged with the Shadow Realm in a way. Probably where one of the points is.
Sounds like the part to me.
For the record,
Artemis
there were
says, staring at Fairy.
there
Fairy
were
has
like a
realized that-
dozen of them. And they were big, scary. Go on, sorry.
It's okay. Fairies realize that PowerPoint is not the thing they need to use to plan and switch to MS Paint.
Yeah.
You sense that if you draw anything profane, Artemis will pull the trigger.
So,
She draws an Among Us.
there were several
She
of
doesn't know
us
that, so.
in different groups in the mines. Do we want to do this by sub-segment, or what are we doing then to confirm, since it seems that water people have everything that they were doing?
Well,
already in
hold
line?
on. She raises her hand, right? Sorry. There's a lot. Did you guys mention the library?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they were saying there's like some old guy that's running it, but probably I guess one of the Apexes, but I guess we don't know.
Nah, probably. Oh, right,
Right.
I gave him code names. We can explain that later.
What?
And-
Alexa starts
Wait,
putting.
what did you
Alexa, one at a time, starts putting his note cards up on the fucking projector.
Yeah, okay,
Next to the
he
GIF.
gives them to Alexa and just like, yeah, view them if you at your description. Yeah, there you go.
Right,
Just
Arms?
That name sucks.
it was convenient.
Okay,
Hmm.
fair enough.
Right. I mean, if we're talking about the mines, right, and we're going with like the apexes, right? It wasn't full deep mines, but me, Axel, Altus, and Zell over there, who, for the record, by the way, Zell looks like they're back to regular consciousness at this point. Still kind of leaning against the wall, looking away, right? But they are up now. Four of us were kind of around that spot, and we saw the grudge thing.
Yeah. That was the guy who punched us around into like the cracks and stuff and like wiggled us around the whole facility, you know? Real tough. Has some kind of like thing where like I don't know, he seems like really weirdly adaptively resistant, and like if you hit him too much, he can like use that animosity against you. And he was with a partner who wore like a sick gas mask or whatever. We don't know where they are, but my theory is that they're in the triangle point at the bottom of the deep mines, which also, there was one of those. There was another one of those, like, weird overlay things, right? Right? I'm not forgetting that?
Yeah. Sorry. Bree would be the one to speak up this time. Yeah. We got all the way down there, but we turned around because that's right around when Mello called for the big stuff. Well, no. That was okay. No, we went back because we were going to try to meet up with their group that went to the weapons bay. Points to Brant, then Union and Elijah, right? Because they were going up there. Then apparently they got chased by Bellhurst. We all met up, and then that's when we got the call from Mello. Right. But yeah, we saw one of the doors, so it's probably Grudge and whoever his friend is.
Of note, before we got to the door, another thing that happened is we encountered this snake monster apex named Nidhogg, which went to the north.
Holy shit, Nidpog is here?
Oh yeah, he also attacked us after he attacked you, so that guy's still kicking around. He's got some stam to him.
He's not dead, Zell says, kinda like now like erupting from the wall.
Yeah, that guy can recover quick.
That was the guy that was like possessing the mech, right?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
orange fuck ass.
That's fucking cool.
They adapt and grow stronger, so the fact that they fought you guys and possessed a mech is even more
very bad.
A fucking problem.
Yeah, they're just continuously evolving, like picking up like powers and other such stuff. Like they're gonna be a problem. And who knows where they are? They're still out and about.
Who knows? They didn't. I mean, I at least hope we put a scratch on him. We kind of had to fucking deal with him before we got to the weapons bay.
Well, I mean, again, sounds like he attacked us almost immediately after he attacked them, so I think he recovers quick. Could be wrong, though.
Just doesn't take anything.
I mean, I assume it's because you weren't attacking his proper body, because we attacked him when we first started fighting him. We were fighting him just as a weird snake thing. Then he hopped into their body. He gestures to Zell with a thumb. And then it got worse, and then we fought them. Axel used an outclass to push him out, and they just skipped your way. So I assume it's because they weren't actually out in being fought as a direct entity.
Well,
yeah, plus, I wouldn't be surprised, you know, he can evolve and, like, shapeshift and stuff, so maybe he can, like, shapeshift his wounds back, sort of a regen kind of thing.
Well, if you shapeshift your wounds back, you're taking parts from other parts of you, which means you got less to go around, don't they? Either way.
I mean, not necessarily, especially if he can, like, just create new body parts.
Yeah, either way, wanted to say... Oh god, he fucking grips his arm as the plasma is sort of kicking a little bit. Just want to say a couple of notes. First of all, we went into the weapons bay, found this thing. Big plasma cannon. Got it in my arm right now.
Yeah, you still got it.
I can maybe hold on to this for a little bit longer, but not sure. Maybe I can use it to blow something to fucking smithereens. Second note.
Yeah?
Bellhurst. Got a permanent tracker on him. So if we ever need to know where he is...
Right.
I got that.
Right,
so
right.
yeah, you guys did run into him, right? Ram says.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I took him on. It was great.
He chased us down an entire corridor, all the way back further and further to a little base, and then I think finally we fucking collapsed a cave system on him and he disappeared. Or maybe he just got bored. I can't really remember.
Blackberry and I had fought him earlier and chased him down that way.
Oh, he is such a nuisance. And boring.
Either way, one final question. Union reaches to his side and takes from the sheath the dagger, and he holds it up. Anyone got any idea what the fuck this thing is? As in, what it does?
Delta, like, immediately, like, sees it, and, like, you can tell that she, like, recognizes it immediately. Be incredibly careful with that. We don't... Long and short of it is that we don't know exactly what it is, but if you take it too far away from somewhere, we aren't sure exactly of the exact positioning of it, right? But it seems like it has some sort of radius that causes misfortune upon those who bring it outside of said radius. We've tested some places it could likely be brought into Daybreak, but we found it while we were forming the base before here, and we've been looking into it ever since, but we haven't been able to discern much on it other than that.
Why, I'm not gonna fucking keep it. I don't want to explode.
Well, I guess speaking of things we found down there, Clarice, don't you have your thumb drive or whatever?
Yeah, we already handed it over.
Oh, okay,
Right,
just making sure.
That leads me to my last question, actually. Delta, says, looking across the thumb drives. So, current frame of reference. There was a Darren the Shadow Williams who is still running around somewhere, and then the apex past that point is in some sort of library. If we're going off of Graves' code names, potentially staff. Then there's Grudge, who some of us fought, along with their partner down in the deep mines. Nidhogg was there before they started moving up towards the weapons bay and seemingly further that way. So that's 2 of the triangle points down. My group, motions to Graves, Venus, all them. We were going up north, at least a distance. That's where we fought Malmagia. Or rather, they fought Malmagia. And in that case, similarly, seems like she was the guard dog for that area. So, looks over to, Blackberry, Emmerich, and Isopod. What did all of you find up there? Oh, right. Well, I did happen to tell this to Phone Boy, Melagrano over there, but after I awoke with Blackberry and Isopod, we began to make, more accurately, Blackberry started a construction effort. Emmerich motions over to her.
Yeah, didn't end up really using that thing, but still funny. She smiles.
Meanwhile, while she and Isopod were working on that, I decided to head further up north. There were some more of the cultists and such around. I managed to get through them. Eventually came across a giant red door, which Melagrano over here said that he believed likely had something to do with all these passwords and all such that were going on.
I mean, what else would they be for at this point?
That is almost certainly. You're saying it's a giant red gate? That is the first locked door to the super hyper secure bunker, effectively. However you want to call it. Point is that it's incredibly near impossible to break into. At least without the passcodes. And if the pattern is to be believed, looking between the numbers and the colors of the gates would correlate to the order that they show up as in gates on the way to the bunker. So almost certainly, she crosses her arms, those contain the current overwritten passwords that Dragonov, Simulacrum, and the other insurrectionists have been using to, I guess, lock off the bunker, which is likely where the last triangle point is.
On that note, when we started coming back here, because we were told to, points over to Elijah, we ended up coming across someone with an epithet like theirs, Czar or whatever. They have the power of password, so we decided that we couldn't just let them be left knocked unconscious in free roaming state or whatever, so we brought them with us.
Smart idea.
Okay.
Yeah. I went and I took the cohort and I just sort of tied them up and threw them against a wall. Hopefully they're not getting away anytime soon.
I have a quick question. Blackberry lifts her hand. Primarily for Delta, but the rest of you can chime in too, of course. Now, I'm not saying this is for sure the plan, but I've heard, people talking back and forth about where to go from here, right? We've gone over what each of the triangle points is and what might be guarding it, but I should say, I'm sure that there's some backup plan or something they have. I mean, if they just didn't think we'd all be able to meet up again, that would be a little silly of them. But I mean, I'm sure there's some reason we can't all just do what some people have been suggesting and just go to one of the triangle points and disrupt the ritual that way. Because I mean, here's the thing: if we all grouped up, I mean, there's no way that whatever's guarding one of the points would be enough to stop us.
And as I said to Wayne and Brave and all of them when they were asking about this, quite frankly, unfortunately, I don't have the confidence to be able to tell you whether or not that would work, because considering the nature of this plan, a lot of things were kept secret from a lot of people, even those that were involved. I'm sure Miss Voya knows plenty about that at this point. Othello says, sort of tapping his foot.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, I don't know all of the details of the ritual, but I suppose it's possible. If I had to guess, there's something else more complicated going on. And as he's talking, suddenly from behind Emmerich, a shaky voice, actually, hi, I'm Mark. He walks out over here.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Hi, Mark.
Shut up.
Artemis, for the first time, looks away from Barry. Oh, Jesus Christ, who's Mark? Points, doesn't point a gun, but
oh, no way,
shifts a
it's
bit.
those guys.
Barry gestures to them. Dude, it's Mark.
Hey, Mark. Hey, Sasha.
Hi, says Sasha. Hey, right, you were the, people that confronted Mistress Malmagia.
Yep.
Right. On that, specifically, I can confirm that at least if Mistress Malmagia is to be believed, and I don't know why she would lie to me lie about something like this, considering she was just in the company of us, when she was going over a bunch of various things about the plan and how boring it was and how she simply had to sit around and whatever. She mentioned some point something along the lines of once everything has been set up, they all need to be dismantled. They kind of anchor each other. Like, now that it's active, which by the time we all were fighting, or you all were fighting Malmagia and some of the others, probably was pretty close, if not already active. They're kind of, in a weird way, they've anchored and stabilized each other, so they all need to go down.
It's like a triangle. Even if you break one side of it, the rest is pretty tough still.
What? No, if you destroy one part of a triangle, it becomes a line.
But it's really tough. It's really tough to destroy one part of a triangle. Cynthia talks a lot about this.
Who's
Yeah,
Cynthia?
Triangles are
Cynthia's
strong.
Of course I'd be dealing with fucking triangles again.
Yeah.
Alright, whatever. Look. Either way...
One side needs to break for its shape to change. You don't get it.
Pat. Either way,
Blackberry stims, Voya.
I think all of us going to one location might sound smart on paper, but even on top of theoretical issues of what if they expect it? What if there's a countermeasure? What if they just bring in Punch Guy and he sends us to the bottom of the ocean or something? There is also the thing of we don't know how these guys communicate, if they communicate, and if they notice that we're going silent for too long, they might just assume that we've all went to just death ball into one side of the facility, and so they'll start doing that in turn, which will then be a problem because, well, I hate to say it, I really hate to say it, but I think that in a match of all of us versus all of them, I don't think we're outmatched, but I don't think the odds are better than 50-50. I think that...
No, for sure.
I think more specifically, calculated strike teams, you know, based on what we think's gonna be there, is probably what's best.
Hey, wait a
agree.
minute.
As an aside, speaking of anchoring each other and all that, do we have a progress report on the other people that haven't managed to make it here?
Right, yeah.
Right, there's still
but
others too.
Before that, were you gonna say something, Moomin?
Yeah. If the whole thing is they're trying to make a triangle, what if we made a square?
Hold on, he's onto something.
Let him cook. Everybody let him cook.
Alright,
No,
okay.
see, that wouldn't
We
work.
would have to get outside of the triangle to do that.
We're in like a big fucking dome or some shit, and we wouldn't be able to make like a square. At best, we'd be able to make like a really shitty quadrilateral, or maybe a parallelogram.
Well, yeah, but that's still not a triangle.
It'd be not a triangle. Unfortunately, I think we'd need the power of probably a full-on, maybe multiple apexes in order to make another point in the triangle.
Looks to Voya.
What?
Alright.
That's what we were looking at before.
Listen, I don't think Voya would be enough.
The truth is, we don't.
Sorry.
No, I'm saying, I want to hear what you're saying, yeah.
The truth is, we don't actually fully understand how they're doing this ritual. So, if we put all of our eggs in that basket, row out into the ocean, and try to disrupt the shape, we're gambling on something that we don't even really understand.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we know how to destroy it. Yeah.
What, Altus? Yeah, go. Sorry.
Just want to speak up here. I've dealt with a similar scenario in my past, and we basically went gung-ho, just taking out the... look, in this case they had anchors, which are pretty similar to what we've got going on here. We just kind of wiped them all out, and it ended up making things much worse.
Hold on.
Than what they used to just do.
Hold on.
Well,
a similar
that's the thing.
situation.
Yeah.
A lot of things happen all the time. I don't. What do you mean? Why is this a
It might be-
question?
No, similar to this.
So yeah, it's trying to rip the fabric of space.
It's more common than you think.
It's like a classic adventure for a reason, you know. There's, you know.
Yeah, dude, my dad ripped space last week.
Big Bats
Who
love to
said
do this
that?
shit.
You have so
Barry.
many characters. Yeah.
Listen.
Artemis
I would,
waves a hand like, ignore her.
I would
Continue,
love.
Ember.
I would love if things like this weren't so common, because it would mean I have less paperwork to do. But as it is, like 90% of my job is paperwork, so yeah, it's pretty common.
Like Gervasio said, then what do you think we should do? Yeah.
Sorry, I was just, looking back, I don't know how we could have done anything differently, I guess, but maybe doing it all at once instead of taking them out one by one would have a better effect. Less destabilizing.
Synchronizing our attacks.
Exactly.
Well,
It's gonna happen
even if we
between
split,
one by one.
even if we split 3 ways, if we can especially find out where the rest of the missing people are, which we should get back to, then even if we split 3 ways, that's still a lot of people.
All right. Someone was doing stuff with a projector, right? Midgard says, like, looking around. Who is that?
Oexa holds up the button.
Yeah. Okay, here.
Remote, yeah.
Midgard would go pull out the map he, used earlier, showing Villanelle and the others, right? Which in this
Oexa
case,
puts it on the projector screen.
Okay, so I don't need to go through the whole deal of exactly how my power works. What's important is I have psionics, I'm an Esper. I can map out locations once I've committed them to memory and I'm scanning them actively. I can sort of get constant live updates all the time and track people if I'm focusing on them. It's very useful. It's a radar power. It's very, very good and useful for this kind of thing.
Everybody applauds.
this entire situation, right? For me, it started with what I now know is Lieutenant Logan Garrick's, I guess, former little crew that he had here. That was knocked me out, was holding me in place, so I couldn't do anything because they knew I was useful. So, ever since I was rescued, pretty soon after, we started running around. But I've been kind of trying to get my bearings and refocus on everything again, and it's taken a lot of work. I don't know if there are any other espers here, but I'm sure that other people can tell that there's a lot of interference going on. So it took a bit, but something really important, right, that I found that is very weird, leads me to believe I'm almost certain that's where they're at, right? So I was scanning around, and sometimes there'd be some interference. There'd be like a wall that I couldn't get through, so I had to try a little harder, remap it out. Okay, fine. But eventually, I got to basically a mostly complete map as to how I remember it of the place in its current standing. But there was one wall that I definitely could not get through. People have been mentioning that there's a dome or something that we're in, right?
Yep.
And if we're in some dome, and that's the kind of shape we're working with, there's one conspicuous dome-shaped block that I can't get through. And as it would turn out, it's in a spot that none of us have been to yet. As he sort of points to this area off to the corner here. If I had to guess, just based on the shape and the fact that I can map just about everything else out, that's almost the spot, almost certainly the spot where all of them are being captured, if I had to guess. And they're likely being kept in a smaller scale version of the same dome we are. And with that, I'll mark this.
It's him! It's him!
We need to get him! We need the full grid!
We gotta fill out our square!
Hi. So, where on this are you suggesting the triangle is?
So, triangle. Right, good point. Here. Let me mark this out as, this is rough, right? But something along the lines of this, this,
there, good.
this.
Everybody marks it with several dozen different varieties of white power until it's obvious.
Yeah, just like this.
You just gotta do another one right here.
It's kind of a crooked triangle.
This is rough. I'm just making
is
rough.
I'm trying.
It's not
It
exact.
also
I just think it'd be a
doesn't
right
even
triangle.
necessarily need to be an equilateral triangle. If this is chaos, and it being slightly off kilter it also fills into it.
Okay.
Huh, and their bubble is right between two of the points, huh?
So, Union, takes a second. I'm not saying we should fully entertain square theory, or trapezoid theory at least at this point. But what if we dropped, and, hypothetically, I don't imagine you have this in the base, but I might have something. A nuclear bomb right here.
That's not...
A what? Venus comments. The concerning middle point between interested and terrified.
Listen, Union.
Union, I like where you're going with this, Blackberry says.
There are a lot of options that aren't nukes that would cause significantly nuclear fallout.
Yeah, for one, we don't have nukes here, Union. For two, you crazy?
I never said you had the nukes.
Damn right he is. He is crazy. Just crazy like a fucking fox.
You flatter me,
So
Blackberry.
crazy. Might just work.
We don't have the time, but give me a week, I could probably beat the output of a nuke.
We don't need that.
We do not have a week!
Graves just raises a hand.
Elijah is
well,
hyperventilating.
First one can go, but yeah.
Sorry.
First one can go.
Even if you were to detonate a nuke, that doesn't necessarily create a fourth point. That just creates destruction. Which, if you're gonna do that, might as well throw it at one of the fuckers on the points, is all. Let's Graves speak his piece after.
I agree with Wayne. This square theory is interesting, but I think it's going to keep us off track. Ultimately, it just sort of turns to delta. Now, I think a very interesting deviation we can work out right now to coordinate our plan of attack, and just sort of looks at Othello and Mark, kind of like between them. Now, I do want to ask, any of you know where people like Dragonov are going to be stationed during all
Well,
of this?
You see,
Because
yeah.
because I think a very interesting deviation from this is that, yes, we could all split up into groups of 3 and attack the 3 points, but they could be expecting that. What could be a lot better is if some of us attack the 3 points, and another group of us attacks the heart of the plan, the head, Dragonov, and whoever else he has with him.
Bingo. Delta
That could
says,
potentially-
snapping her fingers.
That could be the all-out offensive we need here. Not only going to the points where they might be expecting us, but also to the heart of everything.
Yeah.
If we know the location of Dragonov and the rest of them, we can't. That's a chaotic fourth point we're looking for.
I know
The ideas.
when we were first being told about it by Othello that I was hypothesizing / assuming that a man of his stature, obviously I don't know why he's doing this, but he's obviously going to be positioning himself to benefit from it the most, as opposed to some random cult that he's dragged into doing this. So I assume that he's going to be at the eye of the storm, so he's going to be in the dead center of where the triangle would be, because that's probably where the most effect of this ritual is going to take place.
And, now that you mentioned that, Ram says, when I was eavesdropping on their little meeting they had when they deployed Bellhurst, it may have just been a thing that just set off the top of the dome. Wasn't really thinking about it, but I believe it was explicitly mentioned that Dragonov was heading up. So if your theory is correct, that leads us to a couple of potential options. And as he's saying that, suddenly from a different corner of the room, Firelight wrenches himself off the wall. I sense it. They're talking about Dragon Balls again.
No, we're not. We're not.
Oi!
Oh,
hey,
wait.
there he is. He's awake. Wait, actually, hold on. How the hell did you get on the surface?
When the monster freak punched us, it felt like Delaxnapy's goo land or whatever, so I stopped myself, because I've done shit like that before, and I swam back up.
Who's Delaxnapy?
Some
She's
Shadow Realm creature. That's kind of context clues here, Union.
She's the little lady that lives in my brain sometimes.
She what?
Right.
Yeah, I know her. You what?
Wait, hold on.
Sounds like a Shadow Realm creature, yeah.
Translating a little bit. You were mentioning something about dragon something?
The military general guy or whatever the hell. When I got up, some of the cult guys like these ones, he like motions over to this pile of people. Like those guys started trying to get me out or whatever. Apparently I was somebody already got back up to the surface. So I totally own those lamers. He looks around. Apparently I did too good of a job because the big boss came for it himself. We fought and all, and got pretty close to beating him, but
Oh god, you fought him.
Yeah, I fought him. I think when I was in the wall crate or whatever, I think I remember him saying something about going up to the roof.
Does that... Midgard, can you sense where Dragonov is?
I can start looking. Yeah, let me check around. If the idea is the roof, I can confirm that shortly.
Well,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, the peak.
Union sort of tightens his hand, steps forward, just kind of like sets his foot like up on a like more elevated space. He's just like, if we're gonna take the fight to that asshole, count me the fuck in. I've been tired of sitting around and doing fuck all, attacking these shit-ass shadow bugs and fighting these little goblins and getting attacked by fucking barnacles from the ceiling, fighting random fucking turncoats and all those soldier military assholes who all just want to fucking do nothing and waste our time.
Yeah, I want a rematch with him too.
I have a grudge to settle.
Well, me and Emmerich are pretty winded, but I mean, I'm at least down to head up there and take the fight to him too.
With that, I think we
Union
have all
enters
of
the center and everyone is now bazookaed.
Yeah. Oh, bazooka.
Like, yeah, it's bazooka, everybody. All right, keep going.
No, it's not a rash. Continue.
Oh, it's not? No, I was gonna. If
Well,
you,
I was-
right, okay. Delta, like everyone,
With that leak.
I think we have all of the pieces necessary to formulate a final strategy. And as she goes to continue, actually, real quick, Kuro raises a hand. Because it's of a matter of personal concern on top of just natural, human or humanoid, natural care for beings, I suppose. She, crosses her arms. Sigma Solstice, my boss friend.
Mm-hmm.
He's with the people in the mini dome, as you called it. Considering my power set, she reaches down to her hip. My sword is able to cut through, I suppose, boundaries, realms, things such as that. I believe recently that was showcased in one of the Halloween time festivals or whatever that DBA did. She, puts her hands up to her chin. Rescuing them is obviously important, so if we're doing that, I would like to be on that group.
Tracy raises a hand. Yes, I would also like to be on that group. I really need to reconvene with Sakura as soon as possible.
All right, Delta.
The more we spread our guys thin, the more we're not going to have a lot of forces.
The more we spread our guys thin, the more jobs we can be put on at the same time.
That's true, and here's my proposal. Delta, goes, addresses everybody. So, couple of steps here. I'll lay out my ideas based on what I have been thinking, others have been thinking, and we have all been saying. 1, she holds out a finger. One group needs to be sent to each triangle point, so 3 groups for that overall. Big enough group to at least take on an apex. We've fought a couple of them at this point. We know what kinds of things they bring to the table, so if we know that power level, we can allocate people there and make strong enough teams to be able to handle them for at least a long enough time. Hopefully enough to destabilize the triangle point, ideally. 2, a smaller group. Perhaps 2, 3 people at absolute maximum, but we can't spread ourselves too thin on this. If Dragonov is on the roof, Midgard, Commander, after checking, I can almost certainly. There's a really high power signature up there, and that's almost certainly going to be him. And so, with that, let me go ahead and just real quickly.
Yeah.
Does he have a chibi
Let's see him.
There you go.
No! Of course he does, dude.
Oh my god.
So evil.
Of course.
There we go. As we'll head back over here. Bada bing. Regardless, point being, not regardless. But a smaller group of people, 2 or 3 at absolute maximum, need to go up there to confront Dragonov. He's obviously very strong. He's leading this. And if we start causing problems at somewhere else, he's fast enough to be able to catch up and provide backup on his own. Yeah, he dashed in like a tornado or whatever. So,
Wait a
we
minute.
need people there.
He's fast. Blackberry thinks about Darren the Shadow Williams.
Yeah.
He'll go and nip those problems in the bud if he hears of them. So, what we need to do, more so than defeating him, we just need 1, 2, around that many strong people to go up there and distract him while the others are handling the triangle points. You can defeat him, great. But the goal is to keep him there. 3. With that group, that smaller group that's going to fight Dragonov, we need to have some sort of defense party, escort party. Considering the circumstance, there's almost certainly, in fact, I'll ask you, Midgard, are there troops up on the second floor? Yeah, lots of them.
What do you think?
There's
So-
still more of these motherfuckers? Ugh.
There's a lot of them. I mean, we've gone through a shit ton, but I mean, someone like Dragonov has a lot of resources, so it's not anything we haven't done before, but it is a lot of people, and if we're doing something like this, we need to keep that into account. So, we need a defense squad. Some of the other stronger people to escort them there and make sure that those forces don't interrupt the fight with Dragonov.
And then what about the second dome group?
Second dome group. That likely doesn't need to be a particularly large group. We've already cleared out a large portion of the underground tunnel system, and if we're causing problems elsewhere, those will be diversions, right? So, Kuro, as mentioned, has a potential idea or way to break through the dome. A smaller group, not too many of them, needs to go there and try and break them out. Kuro's idea is the best shot we have right now, so I think that's what we should go for, especially if it's been proven in the past. Plus, if it does work, even if it's a smaller group, that's fine, because as soon as we rescue those people, they'll be able to help us, and that group won't be so small anymore. She crosses her arms, before then going, number 5 then. This is natural, of course, but whichever group is headed to the bunker for that triangle point with the remaining mystery apex, assuming that Staff is in the library and Grudge is with their partner in the deep mines. Whatever group is
by
going,
process of elimination.
she nods. Whichever group is going that
Yeah,
way
yeah.
obviously needs to have all of the flash drives on them. Those doors accept the codes directly from the flash drives physically. We could extract the codes all we want, but we need to directly input them in there using those flash drives. She crosses her arms yet again, so obviously, whoever's going that way needs to have those. And on that note, she, takes her next hand. Number 6, Melagrano, Alexa, Midgard, and various other people here. Need to stay back here as much as it may be a pain. You all have been doing a fantastic job. And if we're going to be synchronizing our takedowns of the triangle points like we've been saying, we still need communication. Midgard's obviously invaluable, so is Melagrano and Alexa. So, we still need to have communication command center here. And then, that of course leaves number 7, the last factor. The 3 unknowns. Darren the Shadow Williams, Nidhogg, and Lieutenant Bellhurst. We don't know where they're going to be. We can make some guesses. But regardless of where everyone's going, we all need to be prepared to handle any one of them. And very likely set up some sort of chain of communication such that if someone encounters them, we can get the message across so that the others don't need to worry about them. And I believe that should cover everything. So, I want to ask all of you. She takes a moment, lets it hang in the air. This is my plan. If people have any addendums or suggestions towards it, feel free. But, assuming we are going with the plan I've set forth, who would want to go where? And here's what I'm gonna... Feel free to discuss it in character, right? But, much like the first session, do you remember this little ditty we did? Here, I'm gonna...
I do.
Let me know if you need any help. It's time, everybody. It's finally fucking time.
And I will, of course, say, especially with the fact that people like Drake and Liger and Poco aren't here, we will get in contact with people ASAP, so what is chosen right here, right now, tonight is not necessarily final, but it's at least the great big starting step to know where everyone's minds are before we ask
the grand
people
majority of it will be decided,
As, of course, feel free to discuss it in character as mentioned, but we'll mark it a little bit like this. Here is underwater base group triangle point for the library. Let's go with up here. We've got the bunker. We've got the deep mines with grudge over here, and I will adjust these squares. Don't you worry. And then down here, we'll go with a purple. No, a different color just so it stands out more. A pink. For Group Dragonov / the second floor protection squad beforehand.
All right, and then so to confirm in that case, there's not a official player list for the go help unfuck up the seal as one, and then to make sure as well. Right?
You mean like the group of Kuro?
Yeah.
Unless
if someone
somebody wants to, NPCs will handle that.
Yeah, I'm fine telling you. If these are kind of the main things, if you would want to go with Kuro there, sure. If someone would want to stay behind with Melagrano in the communications room, sure. But these are like, pulling back the curtain, these are like the main things I would be asking of the primary options,
Just making sure.
Okay.
I assume...
So...
I assume much like before, you have sort of suggestions for, like, certain characters and all of that, right? I do want to ask, where would you put Kanaho and Union if you had the chance?
Well...
Or at the very least, Union. That's the one I'm...
Well, I would say at least that we figured, right, the Dragonov group will have some demand for it, right? So just bear in mind that we might, I see you guys have moved there, but don't get too comfortable there, because we want to give people a chance to discuss that group, because it's the more exclusive one. Now, but for Union specifically, unless Soleil has an idea, I don't necessarily have a specific.
If you want my thinking for Union is that I think he would be best in either Deep Mine sort of grudge group, right? Potentially the bunker group could be fun. Or those would be like my two primary ones, but I certainly think that he's a completely good and valid choice for Dragonov as well. So.
Graves would sort of like nod to Venus to like speak up about her desires, but would want to say something about Dragonov afterwards if we want to go there.
Because
Aquarius.
I'm sorry, really quick. Because Zanza brought it up in chat, Blackberry would also mention, because Axel has communication powers as well, Melagrano could use him to potentially help facilitate things.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea.
Yeah, right. I wanted to bring that up. Yours seems a lot better it's kind of like a secondary kind of thing for me,
Yeah, it's my primary, so.
Yeah. But with a little bit of effort, I can like move through the fog and contact with people. So I can act as a second chain if there's like, if necessary.
Okay.
I was just gonna say, as an in-character thing for going to the bunker, Aquarius would just mention, yeah, I'll go this way, because in case for whatever reason something goes wrong with the passwords, I might be able to backdoor it. I'm pretty good with tech.
I guess I don't really.
Similarly-
Oh, you go.
You can go first.
I don't really have a priority for where I want to go, but I'm pretty sturdy and good at like taking a hit and protecting others. So if any of the groups need someone who can like act as a what's the term my girlfriend uses, a tank, I got your back.
Gotcha. Also, this really quick, just in case, just so we don't forget it. Does Union still have the gun?
He does currently, and I was gonna get to that specifically.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hey, Union.
Yeah?
I want to take Grudge down. All right. And if you want to go and do one of the other ones, that's fine. But you're not coming with me. Can I ask for the cannon?
Union takes a minute. You want the plasma cannon to go defeat Grudge, huh?
Blast him to shit.
He looks at his arm. He thinks for a second. Well, he sort of fiddles with something small. There's like a small screen almost that displays a red number on the back of his palm. He covers it back up. With all the juice I've stored up, as much as I want to go suck to that fucking asshole so I do something other than fight in the mines, I think our best shot is if we do it all in one go. So yeah, fine. Let's go handle your grudge.
Hey, I won't say no. You're a pretty cool dude.
Glad you think so. Not usually a fan of military types.
Wayne just kind of adjusts his cap. They're not exactly the most necessarily durable or the most helpful, but I'm wanting to have at least one of my guys going on most of the groups. That way, I don't know everything they know, but if one of them dies, that's at least an indicator of something outside of communications, etc., etc. Aside from that, I'm fine going with whatever group might need me.
Hey, yeah, I imagine you want to take down Dragonov.
If the goal is to keep him distracted, I like to imagine that I can do that better than, frankly, anyone here.
No, you're the best. I think you're one of the best people here for that specific
And I
job.
work well with Venus. I want to stick with her.
Yeah. I am currently in a far weaker state than I'd like to be. I don't know if I would quite be good at the front offensive, but I want to raise 2 points for tagging along with you, too. One, I lived through an event where Dragonov first rose to power. I might not have might, but I do have information. If I can tap into that, we could find the keys to striking where it hurts. The second off, something I share in common with you, Venus, is the ability to create autonomous beings to assist. I think with our powers together, we could create an army. One that would be enough to prevent him from going anywhere else.
I have no.
I don't know if I would be best. I don't know if I'd be best along your side or defending the second row, but my gut is to come along with you and
As of
I don't
current, I
know.
have no
Face-
complaint.
Yeah. I will say to the GMs, if Graves is to be launched out by high demand of Dragonov, where would he best go as a backup? I still want to go here, because
If
of
you're
the reasons
asking me,
you mentioned.
I think he would probably be, if not Dragonov, I think my recommendation for Graves would either be like the bunker or potentially underwater base. But
Got it. Okay, so
Yep, but
yeah, there's
very
my
well
backup
could
plans,
go
but
fight
unless,
Dragonov. We'll see. Yep.
yeah, this is what I'm sticking with. This is what he would be most interested in, but we'll see.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. He scratches the back of his head. I don't really know what I'd be doing within the underwater place, though I think I'd be doing good there. Don't know what I'd be doing in the bunker, and it feels like a lot of people who want to go to the deep mines have a grudge match against whatever is down there. And I don't think I'd be one for distraction. So, puts me in a little bit of an awkward position, doesn't it? Don't think I'd be a real good fit for any of them. Maybe I should
Don't say
go.
that about yourself. You're valid and valuable as a human being, and just the way you are.
I mean, yeah, no, I'm great. I'm just not sure if I'm just not sure where I'd fit into the current goings on.
Okay.
I was just about to say that he rubs the back of his head. Guess I could go underwater where I'm in my element, but otherwise I could go probably wherever Delta goes. He croons his head over there, or take on the breaking all those guys out.
Yeah. I think we should also be considering like team synergy and like team career, right?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
So who all pair really well together?
Maybe Apollo and Counterhole?
God, I just on that note, like, obviously we need to go back through and check. We need to figure out what Emrich's boost is before determining where we want to send him as well.
Well, I mean, if nothing else, my sort of thinking, right? We need the ultimate stopgap for the second floor, right? Blackberry and I can handle that.
Actually,
yeah,
I was
together
sort of
again.
I was gonna say just
Snaps
Blackberry coming with
fingers.
Axel. Damn it.
Actually,
They're gonna head up
if
there,
either-
I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Sorry, what, Cockba?
Yeah, I was also just thinking, Niles,
Huh? What? Huh?
you've sort of been flying under the radar, but if I recall, you're quite the powerful epithet user.
He scratches his head. Not in a usual sense always, but I mean, I got my epithet stuff.
I mean, you could be alongside Blackberry and Emmerich for the stopgap. Put him in. You have your powerful stuff. Selfish of me to ask, but you could use her outclass if you hadn't used it in a bit, but we'll see about that.
Oh, right. You know, now that you bring that up, that's a good idea. He leans back in his chair. Maybe.
I figured you were saving that for a dire circumstance.
Oh, not really. He
What is
like,
this?
Oh, okay.
Points around, you know.
Remember that time you
Good.
sued me while you were under control of a bee?
That wasn't me, that was the bee.
Well, point is, want to make even on tit for tat. It's clear Venus is joking.
Yeah.
B for bat.
Yeah.
We'll see, Miss Vanderbilt.
I was going to suggest you use your outclass that I've been informed of to sort of hide away while we were all coming to this room, but it seems like you made use without it.
Yeah, we had a whole armada here doing plenty of that stuff, so...
Voya would raise her hand. She's had her hand raised the whole time, like the kid that really knows the answer to the question and really, really wants to say it because they're really proud of all the information that they have. What's called on them yet?
Hey, little shadow.
There we go! Finally! Thank you, Altus. You're the coolest guy. Okay, so I don't know the most about the Apexes because they're shrouded in mystery and stuff, but ultimately, I've heard about the Staff Boy. I've heard about an ancient apex that collects information of all kinds and shapes and sizes, and I promise, I'm sure that a lot of the things that I know aren't true, but I know that they're the oldest, or at least close to it. And if there's anyone who would have the knowledge of, if there's anyone who would have sway over everybody, it'd be the one who's the strongest and the oldest and the most powerfulest. And so that means that they were the one who at least didn't stick up for me. So I'm gonna teach the old boomer some new tricks.
Hell yeah,
I don't know what to say. It didn't really feel like a lot of people at the meeting respected that guy. They rubbed the back of their head. He seemed to just whine a lot.
Respect is ultimately...
Boomers do that.
That also. But
No offense, Graves.
Respect is ultimately a bit of a two-way street.
I'm 38.
All the she says over 10 times his age.
Yeah.
How old am I?
Wow.
I'm 15.
What? You're not like 10?
Smaller. Guy's too small to have a small contest.
Isn't he older than you?
Yeah. Pranked 1012, mother fricker.
Don't go there.
Wayne is enjoying this deafening silence that he set up with his epithet really well now.
Oh, baby man, don't listen. She's not calling you small. It's okay.
Well,
you're perfectly sized. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you want to eat computer?
he starts.
Don't let them eat the computer.
Ooh, that's a form of evolution. Yeah, Urple, you eat the computer too!
Come on, Bree, you know what it's like to own a pet. You gotta take care of them. And I'm running out of beef jerky.
You've heard of food with YouTube. Now get ready for food that is YouTube.
Oh, that reminds me. Peony raises a hand. Do any of these places have like a cafeteria so I can find shrimps for Urple?
Down in the underwater base.
Well, it's been decided for me then.
Good thing I have you, Hoppy.
I'm torn up between going to the water base and also going somewhere new.
Axel immediately also feeding the pet.
I can't lie with Peony's argument. Like... So, what normally is up at the bunker to confirm? Because we've heard that it's a wall, but it didn't really tell us what's beyond
There's
it.
not usually much in there as of right now. The idea is we've been building it to be incredibly secure, which it is. There's some basic storage facilities, what have you, some basic rooms. Really, there isn't much going on there, usually, other than currently empty, to-be-filled rooms. But it is rather big, incredibly secure, so...
Any notable defenses on the other side of the wall to keep in mind?
Nothing that I could imagine would Well, the issue comes in of they've almost certainly got the security system. Though the power situation is shaky as is, though clearly not shaky enough for the bunker doors themselves to be deactivated, but even if the power was shaky, those bunker doors would still work with how we've set them up. I think we should be fine. There's a chance they prepared something that I'm not aware of, but excluding that.
Alright.
Counterho?
Graves when
I
he's
think.
on fires.
Yeah. Counterho. I think you and Spider might actually be best in the bunker team.
Oh, the bunker, huh?
You two have an incredibly
Ooh,
You two have an incredibly acute. You two have an incredibly acute synergy. Same with. So I'd recommend you go together no matter where you go.
He looks at Spider. I imagine their gaze, like meets.
Hey, pal.
I guess we have a pretty decent synergy. I didn't imagine it was anything too much more than what I can do with other people, but.
Oh, come on. I thought we were plenty good pals. Me, you, and Hobby, ultimate dynamic trio. We were there when no one else was. Venus was prepping stuff in Malmagia's castle, and she did a bang-up job of that. But, me and you, wasn't for us, we would have never gotten past that dragon. You really showed that gargoyle what's what.
There was a dragon?
Oh, not a real one.
Yeah, that's about right.
Oh, what the fuck? People got to fight it. Oh, okay, it wasn't real.
I wasn't knocking our teamwork, Spidey. I was just saying. Well. Fuck it. Why not?
I mean, hey, if you don't want me around that bad, I can always.
I'm so hurt that you don't want me around. Oh, let's just go.
Sure.
I was gonna just go see if we could smash up that barrier or whatever. Hey, actually, he turns. Delta, you just gonna stick around here? Not saying that is like a...
No, I understand. On one hand, it would be good to have me here, if for no other reason other than I can help keep command, especially since clearly Melagrano has been rather exhausted by it. But, on one hand, Midgard is here to help with that, and for two, it would feel wrong if I didn't go out to help myself.
As an aside, considering there's a team going down to try and strike down the lock and all that, I'm just gonna leave one of these here, Wayne says as he creates one of his thought bubbles in that corner, because I can use them as warp points, so if it comes to that, if the barrier's already down, I can make a quick jump back here to let people know, etc., etc.
Well, you could come and follow us to the bunker, or, go somewhere else, but either way, he takes a moment. I think with our last batch of, launching each other around that we like doing, it would be pretty fun to have you around. On top of that, I think, he takes a second. I think you might got one of these. He doesn't say that, but like, pop, fuck you, bitch, get one.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow, I wonder which one Delta's picking.
Gun!
Yeah.
I just don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I can see an argument for weapon bending.
Yeah. And so, for the interest, right, of moving along, right, simply because we don't have everybody here. In particular, we don't have input from Poco, Liger, or Drake regarding their circumstances, right? And we can always workshop this, right? And if people want to keep, workshopping the exact team comps right now, feel free, or we can do that in the coming days. But
Mhm.
alongside with that, I will also say that, again, I don't want it to take forever, especially because of how long we've already been fucking going, right? But, for one, this won't be the last time to RP in all of Bifrost or anything, right? You'll have time to talk with each other near the end, assuming you all survive. But, you know, this won't be the last time ever that you can RP. But if there's anything, any small interactions or small little things people want to do right here and now, before, you know, we move out to the final phase of things, then, yeah.
Miss.
Hmm?
Look at my isopod.
She is like, deadpan staring in complete silence, just looking at him.
What? I have one too! Sprints over the desk.
Literally, Axel's just holding them up so they're like a bottom side with the scrabby legs are just like all twiddling like towards this isopod's face.
Yeah.
Hold on, we need another one for Wheeler. Go.
And, you know what? Let me, switch over to, how about let's go with,
Isopod kills them dead.
As she's just looking at these two little guys. Fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is my guess correct, Soleil?
What?
Apparently, Graves is thinking at Isopod an epithet guess.
Oh, I see. No, that is not it.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Me when I epithet guess parentheses, I'm not actually guessing.
Just because this is.
I'm not up.
Sorry.
Yeah. You go.
I'm just gonna say this really quickly, and then we move swiftly past it. Is Alexa's epithet amplify?
No, sorry.
Okay, cool.
Makes sense though.
Counterho looks at Hobby after seeing the pet owner is just flaunt him and just, you know, does a little nostril exhale snort.
Yeah. Gray's just sort of looks at Counterho. Now that we have a downtime. Just sort of pulls him back. Just real quick, just to go over what I wanted to tell you after the Almagia fight, and could possibly help you during your
God, that was like a million years ago. Alright, yeah.
No, not really. It was like 30 minutes ago at most.
Hyperbole, Graves.
How did you hear that? Like,
you're not sure.
Yeah,
Has she
yeah.
weaponized her hearing? It's a mystery.
Perhaps. Yeah, I basically wanted to comment on our contrasting responses to Malmagia and all that, because, for instance, I sort of tried to do the psychological intent of trying to berate her in order to get her off her game, but you attempted to reverse such a thing by complimenting her and all that. Now, I'm not trying to say that was a bad thing you did. I guess just a comment I wanted to make, and something to think about going forward, is rather than just sort of being dead set in your ideals and thinking the way you do about certain people, is to try and get more in sync with other members of your team and all that.
Fix his tongue a little bit. I mean, I'm pretty good at getting in sync, but I mean, you and I were on
At
the
least with
same.
intent.
You and I were on the same page with Lieutenant Guy and fighting some of the other things and all that other stuff. And like
That definitely got better, but it was just something I noticed then, and I was holding on to it, and there's the best place to lay it out.
I'm not gonna just. He thinks a moment. Drop my feelings to, go around with certain things like insulting them, because I personally didn't think that was right, and I personally kind of respected them.
I get it.
I know there's a lot of specificities with these sort of things, but if I don't stick to my guns, I'm not a strong leader.
Understandable. For one, I think her going off about, and I think this kind of is a theme I've been noticing, at least a little bit. Scan my brain, you still opted to call me a hero. That's not how I view myself, and ticks me off when people call me that, so I'd figure I'd capitalize on that and get her off her game, but fight's over. That's not what I'm getting at. I'm just getting at the idea of sticking to your guns is good, but it's got to be grounded in the material reality. Purely going off your idealism in instances like that, even if that didn't really amount to much, and we won the fight anyways. Especially in these final upcoming battles, you gotta take in your surroundings. Sometimes your gut isn't enough. And considering the really famous guy I used to not work under, I was his apprentice, idealism can be dangerous. If that's all you got. It's just something I noticed with what you were doing, and I wanna make sure you understand that going forward.
Kanaho
That's basically it.
takes a minute. I guess thanks for the heads up. I mean, I'm a smarter guy than you probably think. But
I never questioned your intelligence.
smart in multiple aspects. Either way, you go raise hell with Dragonov. Don't ideal all over him like you did with Garrick, though, he says, clearly joking.
Yeah. Well, if my memory's anything to go off of, well, less heinous of a criminal, he was more of an effective one. There was a reason his name was well known, in my parts.
Thumbs up.
With that,
Yeah, good.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was just gonna
good
say,
luck with your mission. So, yeah.
obviously, more things going on. But really quickly, I just want to ask, before we move on to any other potential small little RP things before we move on, I want to ask you, Gecko, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I guess now's the best time for that.
Yeah, if you'd want to. If you don't, we can always hold off. But otherwise, feel free to go about however you'd want. Because I want to make sure you get this in if you want to.
Thanks. Yeah, might as well. So, I guess as people are discussing, teams and like synergies and strategies and politics, Aldous is thinking, and he sort of like paralyzed with indecision, almost, he instinctively brings out his family heirloom, the philosopher's pocket watch. A pocket watch with the philosopher's stone in it. And before he did find it, but immediately went back on that decision thanks to his friend, Nicole. But sitting here thinking about the situation they're in and all he's done, he decides that, it's about time that he faces the consequences of before and moves forward. So he, sort of as the hustle bustle blurs to nothingness around him, he holds it in his hands and binds it, and maybe no one notices, maybe some people notice, but there's sort of a strange glow emanating from his hand into his body, and it's sort of something that maybe was, something white, something unnatural within him seems to be purged by the purity of the Philosopher's Stone interacting with his epithet. So, not a big deal, but
where, Altus was, he still is, but, let's say refreshed. There you go.
As, some things are corrected. And, yeah.
Yeah.
boy.
Seems like some things have changed.
Hair normal.
Yeah.
Precious boy.
Yeah.
Him.
So, I want to do one thing. It's the thing that I mentioned earlier.
Okay.
Who would be with Voya, if I may? Just as the situation is progressing and she's fixing herself up. Because it's about time that she faces the consequences of her actions.
Yeah. That was, funnily enough, right? Because I imagine, right, that Harrier was with her at the start, right? But as people are, like, discussing and, talking with Apollo and Leela, like, okay, yeah, no, I'm going back down with you guys to the underwater base. I imagine that Voya kind of slinks off, right? As, funnily enough, I imagine that a fun way to sort of go about it, right, is that against the wall here, right, Justice, like, looks over to Voya. Hey, you're the Vanderbilt girl, right, Voya?
Flump.
Correct.
Well, what's got you all down in the dumps? I heard you snuck in.
No, I didn't. I got here through means that were totally legitimate and...
Oh, hello, Venus.
Hi. She looks at Voya. The camera pans over and there's just a mysterious little crystal on the ground.
Oh, I swear, officer, I didn't see her.
Well, congratulations, you have something that Emmerich doesn't, a sense of humor. Half joking, don't worry.
No,
Blackberry,
you're right.
don't tell him I said that. She just picks up the crystal and Voya is like dragged out.
Hello, mysterious person who I've never met before. So,
who were you with?
The cool people.
That does not answer my question.
I was with Apollo, and I was with the green guy.
The what?
Gervasio.
He's blue.
Yeah. And I was with, Harrier. And I was with the Schworms.
Oh, and Lila, her too, I guess.
I will ask the other people how well behaved you were.
Very, very, Blackberry, back me up on this. Was I well behaved? Am I well behaved? please, please don't leave me. Please don't leave me here.
Voya, I wasn't even there. I
Yeah,
wasn't
but
even
you
there,
know
but
me.
I know you weren't well behaved.
No!
Uh-oh.
She makes the face of what's the general again? I forget.
Hmm?
The fucking guy made the can we get much higher? But no, it's
Right. Oh, fucking Stenzo.
yes, thank you. It's like Steezo? No. Point is,
I'll behave myself, and you can talk to them, and they'll all say that I was behaved very well, and I did more counter villainy than proper villainy, cause I'm the best.
I know you were. Just don't get into too much trouble again, okay? And please let me know if you're sneaking in my shadow. I'll at least help you out, okay?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Venus looks to Blackberry with a look that is very clear that she is lying.
Blackberry kind of tugs her collar a bit. Look, Voya, I obviously can't speak for Venus here, right? And you know, I can't nor can I save you from her potential wrath. She pats Voya's head. But like,
You've caught me at a good mood. My wrath is minimal.
at least for me, yeah, that's good. At least for me, I'm not mad that you're here. I mean, I think you're pretty cool, if you didn't know. So I'm glad that you're here.
Of course.
But
you freaking don't guess what's up.
if you are going to, like she said, if you are gonna sneak in, at least let us know, because then, you know, even if we don't totally, you know, agree with whatever's going on or anything like that, at least we know where you are, and we can remember that and take that into account, okay? Just remember that we love you.
Well, what a freaking coincidence, because I like the two of you also. Love is a freaking dumb word for dumb people. And
For
listen,
good guys, right?
yeah, exactly. And the good news is that since I'm here, and it was mentioned that, like, oh, we're all trapped in the mysterious land of Orb.
It was a dome, Voya.
Same difference. I know geometry. My point is that if I'm here, then Mom isn't gonna be too far behind in case I do get in trouble. Like, I think that she could shatter this entire thing with one punch if I got in much danger. So really, are we actually in any trouble, or is this all just one big thing before she comes around and
I'm here, Voya.
Your point?
She probably won't be coming about.
But I am. This
Wow.
incentivizes her What?
Regardless of how you might feel about her showing up here, I don't think we need her help this time. We've got plenty of friends here, we've got a pretty solid plan, and well, I mean, I can't speak for everybody else, but even though I'm kind of already pretty beaten up and pretty tired, I'm still going to do my best, and I'm raring to go.
I'm gonna be here too, though, and I'm the strongest of them all.
I'll be honest, I feel like I've
Wow,
barely
of
gotten to do
course.
anything yet. He, you know, looks around. I mean, all things considered, I'm certainly raring to go.
Yeah, see? The semi-lobster agrees with me.
Oh, come on.
Well, if you want to come along with Emmerich and I, you're more than welcome.
Ugh.
I need to go kick the ass of Mr. Old.
Well, be
I wasn't
careful he
invited.
doesn't make you old. Wait,
What?
no, because you are old, and she flies away.
Anybody else have anything in particular they want to do?
I actually. Sorry, go on.
Just as a small thing, to brush up, just Venus would then talk with Harrier in particular about just like How would you rate your experience with this Vanderbilt on
Yeah,
a scale
and
of 1 to 10?
I think you can imagine how Harrier's talking about it with the sort of, well, she is a little bit of a troublemaker and caused a lot of problems, but we couldn't have done it without her, and she has a good heart, you know, like.
Yeah.
but with the age lines deepening as she speaks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you ask Gervasio, he would say 50-50.
I don't think these need to be fully blown interactions, right? But I imagine one, Kaunaho would go and ask Midgard, like, hey, what's the distance between all of the points on the triangle? In terms of, like, miles, TM. And then also it'd be like, hey, Justice, you got a cool vibe. You want to come with me in my cool club and go kill whatever's in the bunker?
Oh, well, at the very least for that one. I mean, maybe. Bunker could be fun. I don't know, I'll figure out where I'm going.
Yeah, but that's literally it.
Yep.
And
Kaunaho. Yeah, with Midgard, he'll be working out exact measurements, and that's something that if it's particularly relevant, I'll let you know in the future. So,
As similarly, just as a very small thing, Venus would comment that, hey, since we're probably going our different ways, that's more than fine, but just take good care of Paradox for me.
Don't worry. Love this thing like it's something I made with my own hands.
If I get it back without any blood, I'm gonna want to
be insulted.
Yeah.
Alright, friends, there will be more RP time in this arc, but James is suffering. We've been going very close to 14 hours, so let's wrap up.
Oh, yes.
So, Soleil, why don't you take us out?
well, what's up, Zanza?
Oh yeah, what's up?
I was just gonna say, we don't need to play it out. I was gonna say this is like a thing to lead in to the big discussion, but then shit happened. You had like a plan, right?
Yeah.
But Gervasio would just start talking to Delta, ask for a sword rep, sort of go over plan and strategy. Shit.
Yeah, and honestly, that's a really good transition into how I wanted to do this. Because as Gervasio and Delta sort of discuss the plans, of course, we out of universe don't know exactly where everyone is going yet. But for the purposes of in-universe, by this point, you guys would know, right? And with that, after Delta, goes and talking with Gervasio probably brings in Canehurst and Hightower, especially to, help discuss strategy, right? And talking along with Gervasio. Okay, everyone. It seems like we've all gotten everything we've needed to do out of the way. So, as much as it's important to get all of these things settled, time is of the essence. We all know, at least from what we've heard, if we're not quick on this ritual does go fully through, our world and the Shadow Realm may be merged. So, no further delay, alright? We know what to do. We have our chain of contact. Is everyone ready?
Let's raise hell.
Absolutely.
Well then. Let's go. And with that, we'll leave exactly what's going on with that till next time. As let's bring you guys back here.
Thanks very much, everybody.
Yep.
It was
And
long,
Paris
but it
isn't
was
green
a
anymore.
fuckload of fun, in my opinion.
Yeah,
had a lot
it
of
really
fun
was.
with
These
this.
purple circles aggravate me.
Well,
I wonder whose that follows.
there we go. There we go.
Yeah.
And done and dusted. And for the interest of, perfect. I was gonna say I'm gonna switch up the music, but it perfectly ended. So let's go back to this one. As this is the right track, yeah. Yeah, this is the kaiju one. That one went really long, obviously. But hey, hope everyone had fun.
That's
Yeah,
got
Roche,
past
thank you
it.
for noticing. yeah. Obviously, shit ton. Went for way long, but hey, I think it went pretty well. And at this point, right? I was already saying that this whole segment with session 12 and now 13 as well, that was already the end game. Now we're like super duper in the end game. We're making the final plans and going out, brother. So,
Yeah.
all things considered, not all too much left to do in terms of events. We kind of know what's going on. So, yeah, I see the voice.
Fucking losing it.
In the interest of letting all of us go to goddamn sleep, if you enjoyed yourselves here today, you're new around here, and you enjoyed yourself, make sure to join our funky Discord server. Fun dining, yo! There's the link! Whoa! Go there, get notified when we're going live. What have you? Announcements, go there. Thank you all for watching. We could not do this the way we do it without all of you. It's always a fun, fantastic time. And of course, the biggest of thanks to all of my players putting up with a million-year-long blood session, as well as my fellow co-GMs for making this possible. So, again, in the interest of sleep, until next time, where we initiate our final mission within Operation Bifrost. Thank you all for watching one last time. See you next time. Good night, and say goodbye to chat, everybody.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Nighty.